Hi, my name is Lauren and welcome to Literary Lauren. I am an avid reader, as you can tell, and I have finally decided to sit down and make videos because I need a community of readers around me. I've got a few people that read, but I want to put myself out there and find more of you. If anything bookish, reading, book collecting, clearly, and things like that sound up your alley or align with some of your hobbies, please join the club, I guess. I just recently read The Wedding People, and this is the book that inspired me to turn on a camera and start recording and just talking into the abyss. And hopefully, my thoughts will be heard and people will get them. I read very widely, so I read romance, lit fic, fantasy. I'm dabbling in horror. I'm not a big horror girly, but I've read like Monstrilio. I've read some like popular ones that I've loved. And just recently, probably in the last year or so, I have really gotten into mystery thriller. I read pretty widely, but I am very much a mood reader. I don't know what it is, but once I finish a book, something just switches in my brain, and I know exactly what book I want to pick out from my shelves. My goals for 2025 are to read 52 books, to write 12 short stories, and to clear as many of the books off my physical TBR as I possibly can. My first goal, reading 52 books this year. I just want to read at least one book a week, which it's the end of January and I've already read 10 books. So we're well and truly on our way. But I know that this year is going to be a big year of transition, given that I finished uni and I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether I'm going to find a full-time job. I don't know whether I want to go into freelance. So one book a week feels less daunting. It actually is a lot less than I would typically read, but one book a week feels very digestible, very easy to do. I just finished university. I did a double degree. I'm mainly a graphic designer, but I also have a very big passion for creative writing, which you'll probably see some videos on here too. I, within my creative writing major at university, really loved my English pool units, in which I read Dracula, Jekyll and Hyde for my Gothic unit and fell in love with them. And then books like Mrs. Dalloway, The Sound and the Fury. And what's the other one? Voyage in the Dark by Jean Rhys. Oh my God. Those units really just made me fall in love with English and literature and era fiction, I suppose. So you'll see a good amount of classics from me as well, because I really want to just like devour them as well. And my second goal of the year, 12 short stories. It's meant to be one a month, but I haven't had the inkling to pick up a pen or start typing on a keyboard yet. So I'm one behind, which is quite annoying, but I need to prioritize it very soon because I love to write. My main genre is creative nonfiction. Weirdly, I don't read a lot of creative nonfiction, but hopefully that will change this year. I was writing to prompts for university assignments basically, and I was just writing performatively. I was writing reactively to an assignment rather than just letting myself go, which I really want to get back into in 2025. And one short story a month, it's the bill. I think that's very achievable as well, although I haven't done it this month, but oh well. For my lessening of TBR, I have about approximately 150 books on my physical TBR that I have not read. This year is all about trying not to add to my TBR, so I am on a buying ban. My restrictions for myself are that I'm allowed to buy auto-buy author books. So Hannah Bonham Young, her book's coming out I think in the next couple of days, or it has come out. Out on a limb, I've already read it, but I need to own it physically. Like I need to reread it. Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, Richard Osman, those types of books. They're auto by authors, so I'm allowed to buy them. And other than that, I'm allowed one book per month outside of that. So you're going to see a lot of me reading my TBR, which I think a lot more of us need to do. I have invested in a lot of money in these books. You best know I'm going to read as many of them as I possibly can. I know that not all of them are going to work for me, but I think a majority of them will. And as I said, I'm a mood reader, so when I have the inkling to pick one up, I really think I should listen to that intuition, and everything that I need is on this wall. I've got mystery thriller that I haven't read, literary fiction that I haven't read, romance. I've got all of the above genres. I just need to get to them. So hopefully will clear a lot of my physical TBR in 2025. In 2024, I read 52 books. Most of them were audiobooks. I am very much an audiobook girly. I love them so much. And sometimes when I don't have the head to sit down and concentrate on a book, which final year of university definitely didn't have the concentration levels to sit down and read a book. But I could listen to an audiobook on my hour to an hour and a half drives to uni and to my internship that I did last year. It was a lot of travel, so audiobooks were the most convenient, consumable form of books. I thought I'd just go through a few of my favorites from last year so you can get to know my reading taste a little bit. So yeah, let's get into that. In 2024, I read Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. I really loved this. It was that perfect mix of weird, I suppose, but also poignant. I bought this at one of the bookshops on the Blue Mountains bookshop trail, I think it's called, and I saw the spine. You can't miss it. It's fluorescent green. But I just thought, you know what? I need to read this. And I read it, I think, at the perfect time. The next book that blew me away in 2024 was The Woman in the Library by Sulare Gentil. When the plot twist hit, I will always remember where I was. I was on a zebra crossing. I listened to it on audio. I stopped in the middle of this road and there was a car and I went like fully chills. Like I think about it all the time, this plot twist, because it was so out of left field. It's basically about these, I think 4 or 5 characters sat at a table in a library and they hear this blood-curdling scream, and it's basically unpacking what the scream meant, etc., etc. I don't really want to say more than that. I think you should go in a little bit blind. I don't know. I went in completely blind. I liked the cover. The cover's really cool. 2024 was also my Emily Henry year. I basically read all of her most recent contemporary romances, Funny Story being my favorite. I listened to that on audio as well, and it was one of those ones where it's just like I'm kicking my feet. I'm like so happy and bubbly in my car, like giggling to myself about how beautifully romantic it was. I'm sure that everyone knows the synopsis of Funny Story by now, but it's about Daphne and I think Miles. Sorry, I'm looking at my laptop. And Miles, exes are best friends, but then they realize that they love each other, and so then Daphne is kind of left in this position of like, I don't know where to live, because she was living with her fiance at the time, and she basically gets kicked out. And who better a person to be roommates with than your ex's new partner's ex? I just really liked it, and it was my like introduction into Emily Henry. And it was really nice to be within the hype of that book coming out. But then I went on to read all of them, which is when I fell in love with Book Lovers. This has got to be probably my second favorite, and I feel like Happy Place and this one are like tied, but those are my like honorable mention Emily Henry picks. Another romance that I read, Business Casual by B.K. Borison. It was the 4th in the Love Light Farm series, and I've read all of them, but the 4th one is by far my favorite. I was another one where I was like kicking my feet, giggling on my commute to my internship. I think I read it in like 2 days, which was like pretty quick. I made sure that I was doing extra chores those days, tidying my room extensively, so that I could keep listening to this book and not feel guilty about it. The pairing of Nova and Charlie, our main characters, it's kind of Black Cat Golden Retriever vibes. I really liked it. So Nova and Charlie have known each other for a little while, but it's the farmer's sister and the farm owner's half-brother. Anyway, just read it for yourselves. You're going to love it. Then there were the modernist classics that I read at university, and to be honest with you, I loved all of them. So Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner, and Voyage in the Dark by Jean Rhys. Learning about them and getting to unpack them with people was an amazing experience. I really, really loved the class that I had to talk about these in. I read them extensively. Let me grab one of them just to show you the amount of tabs that I used, because I had to write an essay on 2 of them. So this is my copy of Voyage in the Dark. Oh my god. One of these days I will get this title. So this is my copy of Voyage in the Dark by Jean Rhys. As you can see, it is heavily tabbed. I loved this book. I inhaled it. And there was just something so really nice about it, although it's not a nice book. We're following Anna. She feels a disconnect because she's traveling to London, I believe from the West Indies, and she's really feeling like a fish out of water in this society. She strikes up a relationship with an older man. I think his name's Walter, to be honest. I really don't care about him. I hate him. But it kind of just follows her coming to terms with being stuck within a place and feeling as though she can't get in touch with herself. But at the same time, she's struggling a lot. The ending is really ambiguous, and I really love those kinds of books. So this was a very successful read within my modernist class. Then Boxing Day of 2024 began my Ali Hazelwood journey. It took me about 2.5 weeks from Boxing Day to read 4 of her full-length novels and 4 of her novellas. Like, I just devoured everything that I could potentially see written by her. But my favorite was The Love Hypothesis. It kicked off everything, and I don't know why I didn't read it sooner. Truly, I don't know why I didn't read it sooner. You know the vibes. The synopsis on Storygraph says, when a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. Honestly, I read all of them so quickly and so close together that they kind of blended together, but the STEMinist vibes, they're ever present, and I love those books so much. Spoiler alert for my January wrap-up, but Not in Love was my favourite. But that was 2025, so we'll talk about that at a later date. Now, last but not least, my goals for YouTube. I hope to post a video every week, just as I hope to read a book every week. This will be the first of many, hopefully, but I hope you stick around for this fun little experiment, I suppose. This is just a bit of fun, and I want to grow my skills in video editing, so kill 2 birds, 1 stone, and I hope you'll stick around, but I'll see you in the next one, hopefully, and let me know your favourite book in the comments, because that's what we're here for. Bye. By the way, the intention behind the name is like literally Lauren, but I'm like literary Lauren.